Hey, man, it is Dukes and Bell on a Friday. Woohoo! And Carl is off today, so it is that guy, Abe Gordon, a man of 1,000 talents, a man who's a riddle wrapped in an enigma. He truly is, next to the Dos Equis guy, the world's most interesting man. So Abe will be in for Carl today, along with the Big O. And DaDa's got the high school football scoreboard show tonight, right? So you're in and out. What's the story today?
Yeah. I'll pop in for a minute with you guys a little bit, and I'm going to take me a break and then get ready to, talk about high school football because it is Friday night, man. Believe it or not, guys, we're beyond the halfway mark of the high school football season as far as the regular
season. Deep into the regional schedule right now, huh?
Ooh, yeah, real deep. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Who's the big favorite tonight?
There's a couple big matchups tonight. You got Gainesville and Milton. Of course,
Milton's minus 6. Milton minus
both
6.
Of them, both of them unbeaten in region play. So whoever wins that one has a good chance of winning their region. St. Pius and Marist, another good one tonight.
Marist. I think Marist is minus 2.5, Abe. We'll talk about that later.
Now, those are two schools.
As if the Catholics don't want to get involved in gambling. I mean, come on.
Stop it.
Those were our two big rivals at Dunwoody, were Pius and Marist. We never beat Marist. We were close. Sean McVay's senior year, I was broadcasting the game. It was 14-7 was the final score, but only because they called back the opening kickoff, which Dunwoody returned for a touchdown due to some nonsense holding or blocking the back mic. Nowhere near the play. It was a total job call.
No, I'm telling you,
they got ruined.
DaDa, if anybody's going to be gambling on high school football, it's going to be the Catholics. Take it from me. I know at St. Jude's and I got to be honest. Casino.
We're not going to put that in the atmosphere.
Father Greco wanted to double. He wanted to do 2 casino nights a year. Anyway, all right, let's get into brass tacks. First off, a glorious night in sports in general for all of us in the Southeast, all of us who ever have attended a sporting event in Philadelphia, the most miserable place on the planet. Again, first time I saw my dad get in a fight was the Vet, 1978, Giants-Eagles game. Both the Eagles and the Phillies take it in the shorts. The Eagles, after that big confab, Abe, with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown says, oh, no, we didn't talk. And Hurts, what do you make of that? We'll start there. We'll talk about the NLDS in a sec. But the Eagles looked awful on TV last night.
Yeah, they look super pedestrian. And I looked at the run game numbers, and for Saquon, obviously wanting to prove a point going against his old team, average at best. They ran for under 80 yards, I think, as a squad. And this is not the Eagles team that we saw last year that was just dominating. The lines on both sides are not the same. Injuries on defense, injuries on the offensive line. They can't get the run game going. There's just misconnect. And Mike, I still don't know what Jalen Hurts is. We always talk about him in what tier is he in? We refuse to put him in that top tier, but we know he's better than some tier. And I don't know. If things go tough, is he the guy that can improve this team? I still don't have the answer.
Well, we said it yesterday, DaDa and Orin. I want to get your take. Eli Manning was just as inconsistent. Eli Manning threw a lot of picks. They had a great defense. And so, as an Eagles fan, I don't care. If I was an Eagles fan, if I was an Eagles fan, I'd jump into Delaware with a cinder block. But if I was an Eagles fan, just win. And they found a way around the soap opera. But once again, Sirianni, this is now a trend. They've looked awful. Saquon Barkley, to Dave's point, in the run game is not on track. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things I took away was actually something Jackson Dart said after the game, and the fact that, all the young guys, they're not concerned about what the talk about the Giants is because that has nothing to do with them. And so I think with that mindset, that kind of makes them a dangerous team. And I think with the Eagles may have kind of gone in there with, with their guard down maybe a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
Side note, after I heard him say that, I thought to myself, that's the Falcons. We got a bunch of young guys that technically shouldn't give a damn about what people have said about this team in the past because it's got nothing to do with them. But anyway, this Giants team, man, that was a really good boost, confidence boosting win for them. And don't look now, guys, that division could all of a sudden, if the Eagles don't get it together, that division all of a sudden could be up for grabs.
Right. Commanders got a bit of a reprieve, looks like.
Yeah.
It's rare that we've seen a Philadelphia team the last couple of years get punched in the mouth the way they did last night. The Giants weren't doing anything that looked to be overly complicated. They just lined up and just ran at them and ran at them and ran at them. And the Eagles eventually, as that second half kind of started, it's almost like they just relented and folded and like, all right, we'll just resign to whatever the fate's going to be right now. Like if they turn the ball over, that's great. But just on both sides of the football, they got punched in the mouth and just there was no counter punch. There was no nothing. And, you know, it's just as much as they've been the bullies, I guess, the last couple of years. And the players that they have too, like it's very rare and it's odd to see that Philadelphia team lose to another team that has that mindset of we're going to overpower. We're going to go right at the Eagles. And guess what? You guys aren't going to stop us. So,
yeah. And again, Giants fans, funny because I went to high school with a bunch of them. I was one. And it's funny how I said to my guys, slow your roll on Jackson Dart. Remember how excited people were about Daniel Jones after beating the Buccaneers a couple years ago. But this seems a little more grounded. And with Dayball, remember, Dayball got the most out of Josh Allen and helped Josh Allen's maturation process. So Giants fans all took a gasp when he went out for a minute and came back in. But kind of excited. Just got to learn like Jaden Daniels, know when to hold him, know when to fold him because he can't take too much physical abuse.
It was a telling moment last night when he was in the tent, and then you see Dayball kind of getting into it with the physician, I guess, about whatever his condition is at that point. Like you can just tell, like, hey, I don't want Russ in right now. Russ is not my dude. I know Russ is, and Russ is not.
Is he ready? Is he ready?
Abe, it's like my high school coach. I don't care if your arm's a bloody stump. Get out there.
Yeah, I do question a little bit the legitimacy of Jackson Dart passing that concussion test from the independent neurosurgeon who got a voice full on that. But my goodness. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and boy, what a bad look for Russ to come in. He throws whatever the heck that was on third down, and then they shoot to the video.
The grenade.
Then they shoot to the video of Dayball. Like, we need to get this guy back in there. You see that last throw? The thing for me, Mike, is and you're 100% right about Jackson Dart. This is the first time now where, and you have more on your timeline than I do in terms of Giants fans. There is some real optimism going on with the Giants. And for the first time, really since Dayball took over, a little bit of momentum behind that franchise. I'm interested to see if this is still just the spark. We've talked about this before. New quarterbacks, 4 games, right? And I agree with you. Jackson Dart does look certainly more legitimate than just new quarterback energy, Jackson Dart. But there is still that 4 games and then the fall off. We've seen that with Cooper Rush, and we've seen that with, heck, even Desmond Ridder had the 4-game nonsense, and that fell off. So still holding my breath. But the optimism in New York is legitimate.
Hey, man, we'll talk more NFL guys. We got a big show today. By the way, I buried the lead. We have a new name for this thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Behind the curtain.
What a tease. What a tease. Are you kidding me?
Just leave us completely in suspense.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish it for him. Behind the curtain with Dukes and Bell. That is the new name.
As Bell is frozen right there, I feel like it should high five him the way Jackson Dart did that official last night. The hands right there. I see it. I can just pop up right there and high five him like the official.
We'll take him out. He's probably obviously going to have to pop back in. But I know he wanted to we'll let him get back in. I think here he is. Hold on. Is that him?
Pinwheel of death.
There he is. There he is. Let's remove that one. There you go.
He froze immediately.
I just lost you.
There you go.
Did you guys go down or just me?
Just you.
Right. I'm not going to name the name of the internet provider here in Coweta County because they may have it. Never mind. But anyway, I was going to say we got a new name for the show. It's now Behind the Curtain. So we just took you behind the curtain in my crappy Wi-Fi, and that's why I can't stream TV. When so people say you got to cut the cord, dude. How? How can I cut the cord? I can't last 15 minutes on a freaking podcast.
Bell, you're not still on that dial-up, are you? Because I saw that AOL. Did you see this story where AOL is finally killing their dial-up internet service?
Right. I mean, who's got that? I mean, I'm ready for HughesNet. I'm going to put a satellite on the roof, the size of something you'd see out there in Arizona. But anyway, it's our new show today. Now it's renamed. And there you go. We stick it behind the curtain with a technical malfunction. Anyway, Abe is in for Carl today. We'll talk also about the Phillies. I've never seen anything like that. It's almost along the lines with just how bad, Mitch Williams was, but he just gave up home runs. Orion Kirkring giving up a brain fart, not realizing there were 2 outs, could go to first, tries to go home. and he's standing there like this as the Dodgers swarm by him to celebrate. More on that in the baseball playoffs. But a big show today. We're going to talk to one of our good friends. We're going to go with Sal Carpaccio, who works for WGR up in Buffalo. Old school Buffalo guy, does sideline for the Bills. He'll give us behind the scenes. Abe, are you of the opinion we got to play letter perfect on Monday night to get this win?
Close to it. I'm not entirely like all the way like this has to be the best performance of the season or there's no way you can win. I mean, look, we just saw the Eagles, who we put in that tier, go to the New York Giants and lose on the road. It's short week. Maybe that has something to do with it. The Falcons are coming off a bye. Maybe there's a little bit of benefit there. I don't think the Bills are untouchable either, if we're going to be quite honest. And so I actually took away from that game last night even more optimism that, like, hey, we're better than the Giants. I don't know how much better than the Eagles the Bills are. It's a home game. Like, there are reasons Atlanta can win this game. And there's a lot of things I don't necessarily buy about the Bills being completely untouchable as a team, especially coming off their first loss. So you obviously have to play well, Mike. You can't do what you did against Carolina. I think that goes without saying. But I think if you clean up a couple of things, I know you guys we're going to bring up special teams. You got to be in the points that matter, in the aspects that matter. But we don't have to go like 14 of 17 on third down. That'd be nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, just play smart. You know, obviously ball security is if anything needs to be perfect, I'd put that there. You can't turn this ball over to that team, but you need a good effort. It doesn't have to be the best effort of the season, though.
Dukes and Bell guys, Carl was off today, so Abe Gordon is in. DaDa, yesterday we spoke to Raheem Morris. We'll play some of the sound for you. Also, our conversation with Kyle Pitts at 5 o'clock as part of the Falcon Report. We had a great rap with Kyle about everything from where his head's at, his usage rate, the contract up. But as far as coach, he basically said what Carl said, we just got to control the ball, keep Josh Allen off the field. And Rob was like, thank you. And right. Easier said than done, but we've got a good run defense, and you can run the ball effectively on Buffalo.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, again, coming into this one, I think everyone, realized that is going to be the key. I guess my only concern will be will the Falcons kind of overcompensate in their efforts, to get this win and kind of fall off anywhere else. I think that's something we got to kind of make sure, that is I think a legit concern that, they don't try to overdo it in one area because they're so focused on, we got to stop Josh Allen. We got to stop Josh Allen that, you kind of leave holes and gaps in other areas. So that would be my biggest concern, is that they just don't overcompensate. But again, I'll go back to what Jackson Dart said in his presser last night after their win. These are young guys that don't have no ties to the past of this franchise. And their mindset should not be one of where they got to worry about who the Bills are. You were right. You're right, Abe. Like, why not? Why can't that be the Falcons? It's the same exact situation, in my opinion. And I kind of feel like that's kind of how these guys are carrying themselves. We talked about the way Kyle Pitts walked into the front into with you guys yesterday. Like, his demeanor, like the confidence that is just kind of seeming to come from these guys. It's just different, man. So again, that would be my only concern. Just don't overcompensate and be so focused on that you got to shut Josh Allen down that you leave some gaps and holes in other areas.
Big O, we were talking about the passing game. I want more Pitts. We talked about it with Kyle Pitts. If Darnell Mooney is I think, not going to play. My spidey sense says he's still banged up with that hamstring. So he's just having an awful season. Got hurt the shoulder, first day of contact at Flowery Branch, now with a hammy. But we've got other weapons. Casey Washington, there's a good chemistry between, I think, Michael Penix and him. But to me, that's a secret sauce. Bijan out wide and more. I need more Pitts. I got to use more Pitts.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the ball game that we're going to see. And I think maybe you referenced this at some point during the week too, Abe. Of all the games that Bijan has, this is going to be the game where we see him get the absolute most touches, whether that be from the backfield, whether that be out wide. Just use him at your disposal completely. There was a very telling quote from Michael Penix yesterday where he talked about following what Drake May did and that win against the Bills and the idea of ball security. I think that's where it comes down to right there, is making sure that you don't give Buffalo and Josh Allen any extra possessions. We already have to worry about Josh Allen just for the play in itself, the second play with Josh, when things break down and he can get outside and make things happen like that. But just giving him extra possessions out there where, hey, just don't give them those extra chances to go out there and score points.
Yeah.
All right, guys. In addition to talking about the big NFL game Monday night special show, Carl and I, it's a mashup. Abe is producing. Abe has already got this thing organized.
I have an update. I made changes.
It's only Friday. We've been killing Abe on Dukes and Bell for his, again, very attentive, some would say over-attentive nature of producing the show. But we'll be doing the show from the Nest, which is this kick-ass sports bar at Signia, which is the beautiful hotel right across Mercedes-Benz. If we ever get gambling in this state, boy, will they be ready. But anyway, we'll be doing the show on the 4th floor. Come by and see us 11 to 3 at 4 hours of Falcon pregame, 7:15, of course, on Monday. Also coming up today, we will talk some dogs, get Abe's take on what is a scary game against Auburn, because Auburn has got a physical nature on defense. I know they don't really scare you, but, I mean, they played respectfully. They should have and could have beaten Oklahoma in Norman. Didn't embarrass themselves at College Station. And I think this is a game for Georgia. If Gunnar Stockton doesn't see some of these open receivers, they can't run the ball effectively. This could be a very scary night game at Jordan-Hare. What do you think, Abe?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've always say weird stuff happens on the plains and all that. And I know Georgia's got a long winning streak against Auburn. I think it's up to 8 now, maybe. They all haven't been comfortable. They all haven't been easy. And we'll talk about this more, like you said. I thought in that Alabama loss that was where Georgia was at, and we're going to see them take steps forward. I don't know where I'm at now. I don't know how much more I've seen improvement from Georgia. And pardon me, not in the Alabama loss. I'm sorry. Right. In that close call with Tennessee. I said, all right, this is where Georgia is. They're going to get better over the course of the year, and that's a scary prospect. I don't think they were better against Tennessee. Sure, they were better against Kentucky, but it's Kentucky. If they're not better against Auburn with Coleman and Singleton and some of the guys that can threaten you in the big play, like Georgia has to start to get better. And if they're not going to get better, I don't know what the end goal prospects are for this team. I need to see it in a scary, as you mentioned, environment on Saturday.
We'll talk more about that, guys. Plus, we'll preview Georgia Tech taking on a Virginia Tech team that fired their coach. And looks, yes, there's some things they can do against run defense. I still think Virginia Tech hangs for a half and then Tech steps on it. We'll talk about it because without, King, obviously there's trouble in River City. But we'll talk about that. Busy show. DaDa's got us booked up. You'll hear Kyle Pitts. We'll see what they say in Buffalo. Plenty of shenanigans and fun on a Friday. Join us, guys, 2 o'clock on 92.9 The Game. Thanks for watching Behind the Curtain, also known as Mike's spinning white and black wheel of death. We'll see you Monday.